Hey there guys, and welcome back to Hursty Games, and welcome to another ratings refresh video. I did this before with some upgrade potentials that I think there could be in the Premier League. Now we're going to look at some potential downgrades for the Premier League as well. As you can see, probably see, my hair's a bit wet and whatever. I'm very late to getting ready today. My alarm didn't wake me up this morning, so I have just got out of the shower, so I'm a little bit whatever. But also, I didn't have time to charge my light or anything, and I've only just about got enough charge on my battery to get this video done. So if the green screen doesn't work 100% today, I'm sorry. It might even be that the green screen's in because it didn't look very good. So anyway, I'm babbling on. Enough about that. Let's have a look at these potential downgrades. So I've got 11 players I've created today, 11 cards. What we'll do is we'll do it in sort of 3 small sections, and we'll just talk through it and see what we think. Let's have a look. Okay, so you can see on the screen now my first 5 predicted downgrades. Now obviously these players have slightly different reasons as to why they're being downgraded, so I'll talk about them very quickly. First of all, we have Danny Ings at Liverpool. I've downgraded him twice to a 75 and a non-rare, just purely because I don't think he's been given much game time, which is why I think they're looking to loan him out. And so often what EA does is they often downgrade people when they don't play that much, because obviously if they're not playing very often, how can they really prove what their rating is? So I think 75 is probably a fair reflection considering he hasn't played. I think putting him to a silver would be a bit too much, because when he has played, obviously at Burnley, he was fantastic. So it's a shame to see, but I do reckon he's going to get downgraded. Up next we have Zabaleta, who's not having a fantastic season, or at least as good a season as I thought he would have at West Ham. Obviously change of manager, the team are doing a little bit better. I don't necessarily think he's changed drastically, but I would say 79, maybe a little bit too much. I put him 78, I could have even gone 77, but I did stick to 78 because, again, he has had class in previous seasons, but maybe, obviously, that is petering off with age a little bit. Next in, we have Tim Krul. Again, this is another one down to not playing very much. Obviously, Brighton aren't doing too badly in the grand scheme of things, but Krul isn't playing. Krul, I don't think, has actually played a single minute of football this year, so I would assume he would probably go down. Again, I put him to a 75. The general kind of scheme of a lot of these is either they're not playing very much, or they're not playing very well, or they're not doing what they need to do for their club. So Krul is one of those ones that is downgraded because of lack of playtime. Rondon, West Brom not having a fantastic season this year. They're a little bit off colour, I think, personally, but he's not scoring enough. It's as plain and simple as that. For an out-and-out striker, their biggest, I think, signing of all time, like their biggest signing in history, 80 rated, I think is too much with him not scoring as many goals as he is. There's a couple of other players of a similar kind of rating and stuff that I would have bumped down, but to me, he's one of the biggest ones that shouts out. So I personally think Rondon should go down to a 79. Again, could have even pushed it another one, but I think 79 is enough for now. And it's a shame because he's actually not got an awful card, but if it goes to something like this, then that's not quite as appealing as his normal card. And then next to him, the last one in this row is Krzysztof, which bit of a fall from grace. Obviously, he was one to watch last year at PSG, so it just shows he's really not doing too great. Obviously, moved out on loan to West Brom as well as Rondon. Obviously, Rondon's a purchase, but you know what I mean. He's now at West Brom as well. And 81 rated. I personally, in the clips and stuff I've seen and the stats you look at, I wouldn't say 81 rated is a fair reflection. I think that does do him a million favours, and I would actually push him down to 79. I've done him down twice there. Just doesn't impress me that much. He hasn't impressed me too much with what I've seen. And then, like I said, the stats for him as well haven't been fantastic. But that's the first 5. Let's jump on to the next batch. Okay, so you can see on the screen here another 4 players. We'll start off with Shawcross. Stoke, obviously not having a very good year. Obviously losing their manager recently as well, so no more Mark Hughes, which is a shame because I have a lot of respect for Mark Hughes. But I think Shawcross is not having a great time. I think he's normally 79, so I've done him down by 2. And it's one of those tough ones that I picked somebody and I put them down. I could have also done Kurt Zouma. I think part of me didn't want to do Kurt Zouma because I quite like Zouma as a person and a player and stuff, so I did put Shawcross down. Again, it's just one of the things, they're not having a great season, so I've downgraded him. Next to him, Gabbiadini. Southampton not doing awful, maybe not doing as well as they should do or people have predicted. But the likes of Charlie Austin coming in and scoring when he's being played, and Gabbiadini's just not getting goals. So it is a problem. Gabbiadini probably does need to pop up with a few more goals, otherwise he's going to lose his starting place with, like I said, the likes of Austin. Obviously, they're not short of strikers or attacking options there at Southampton. Shane Long as well. But I did do him down by 1. I think he's a great finisher, but this season he's not getting enough goals. He's not scoring enough. I think he's only got 2 goals or something like that. I forgot the stats, but he's really not doing very well for Southampton. Now, Benteke up next. Same kind of thing as Rondon. Decent enough rating. He's not scoring goals. I think he's got 1 goal all season. Obviously, Crystal Palace having a torrid time at the moment in the Premier League, or at least were. Maybe there's a bit of a turn around the corner. Couple of results kind of going their way now, and they're picking up a couple of points here and there. But I would say Benteke is not the reason for that, so I would downgrade him to a 79. Again, it's personal opinion. It probably won't or might not happen, but that's my opinion for the Premier League. And then next game we have Butland, an ex-OP player in the game, and again, Stoke not having a very good defensive record, so I personally think Butland should probably be downgraded. 81 to a 79, so I've done it down by 2 there. Maybe it could be an 79 might be a little bit harsh. But I think, you know, there was bound to be at least one Stoke player in here, much like there was bound to be a Crystal Palace and a West Brom player and a Watford player, West Ham player. But that's kind of how it is. But these last 2, a little bit controversial. One of them is just because, well, you'll see why. You'll see why. So let's start off with the obvious crazy card in 1-rated Loa. He had a pretty shoddy loan spell at QPR. All the guy did was fall over, man. He was quick, but all he seemed to do was fall over, and I can't begin to explain. I know he was going through a lot as a player and as a person, right? But he just wasn't on it. He wasn't very good. I was so excited when we got him on loan the first time because I was like, wow, what a coup. Obviously, the Brighton fans were like, well, we don't want to lose him. Don't give him away. And you know what? I was really excited, and he just wasn't on it. So I've kept his 88 pace, but apart from that, I'm not about it. So I reckon he's going to go down to a 1 rating. But then in all seriousness, this was probably the hardest one to do. Ibrahimovic. I've downgraded him to an 87. Now, there are a couple of players I could have picked for this kind of controversial batch, the likes of like Gundogan as well. But I picked Ibra, and it's purely because his lack of games. Obviously, he was injured. But I know, obviously, I think it was last year, they downgraded Boateng because he wasn't playing very much. And I think they could do something very similar with Ibra, which will mean his 88 card will go up, and anyone who did his Footmas card will have done like a good job there, because I don't think that will go down. But actually, that does raise a good point. I didn't pick anyone here who has an inform or like a man of the match or, you know, player of the tournament, whatever, because I don't think they'll get a downgrade, but I'll talk about that more in a second. Back onto Ibra. I think as a player, he's still quality. Obviously, he is absolutely world class, even at the age he's at now. But because he hasn't played very much this season, and I don't think he's got too much in the way of goals and assists and stuff, again, down to the game time, I do see him potentially getting a downgrade. That one out of all of them is the one I'm probably the most 50-50 on. The rest of them is obviously down to lack of game time, whatever, and not playing too well when they have been playing. But Ibra is the biggest controversial one because obviously it's an injury, but also everyone knows the class and quality that Ibra has. But that's just a prediction, it's just a guess. But touching back on the special card thing very quickly, I know a lot of people here watching this would probably expect me to put the likes of, say, Lukaku in or Morata in, and Morata being the biggest example of the fact that he's got like 2 informs, I think, and I want to watch and whatever, but I don't think they're going to downgrade a card that's got too many special cards or informs and stuff, because obviously if they've been good enough to be in like the best 20 odd players in the world for that week, then it would kind of be a little bit difficult to argue that they should be downgraded. I mean, both of those 2 as examples, Morata and Lukaku, both do have 10 goals this season, which, yes, for the clubs and the players, like the quality of player that they are, they should probably have more goals each. it still would be difficult in my perspective to give them downgrades. So just wanted to throw that out there because I'm sure a lot of people would probably be like, well, you could have put Morata in there, where's Lukaku in there, because they've both been underperforming. But I don't think they've underperformed to the point where they should be deserving of a downgrade. I mean, Morata, as an example, is 84. I would say he's easily playing to what an 84 should do in real life. Getting 10 goals in a season, or in this part of the season, isn't awful for someone 84 rated. But that is enough sort of digressing, pussyfooting around, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. These are my just opinions, my predictions towards the potential downgrades for the Premier League. Now, like I said in the previous one, let me know if there's a different league you would like to see, or if there's specific players or things you want an opinion on, then let me know. Let me know what you would like to see, because I'm all about it. Upgrades, downgrades, whatever leagues, I'll do the research it takes. That's absolutely fine. But for now, boys, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. As I said, enjoyed this. Leave a like, leave a comment for those players, and of course, subscribe if you're new around here. But before I go, boys, I want to say thank you very much, and look after yourselves. See you later.